cables have provided some depth that they're going to have a USB-C on the front. So the prototyping can probably end because no one's going to buy it anyway, right? Because Microsoft doesn't really do hardware. They do hardware for the software. That's why they let the PS5 get released first, and they just release something that's equal to the market to provide a product and a related service that's equal and comparable to that of the other competitors, right? And that's why Microsoft is not getting involved in handhelds, because it's not getting involved in handhelds because it's experimental market. That's a peripheral market. That's lucrative, and people want to get involved. You know, the Chinese want to put hundreds of millions of dollars into handhelds. Well, they can feel welcome doing that. They can burn $1 billion because they feel like it. But you know, Microsoft doesn't need to spend $1 billion down the toilet because it feels like doing handhelds. But it does need to know, like, if you put AI features through a console, through its hardware, through its business executive laptops, like, what would it look like? Well, you'd have a USB-C, but it would need to be a high-speed USB-C, and you'd have to have low latency between the motherboard and the input. So you'd test all this. This is what they have to do. You know, they're building the hardware to be able to be functional to the software. So I think that covers things. Yeah, it gets deep quick, and it's tough because I see things as speculation, but you hit the socials and you see what people are talking about, and you start to think, okay, providing something for the user experience matters, and so you've got to meet them where the need is, especially with making businesses more efficient, saving money, saving a small business thousands and thousands a year. You know, introducing features that make students astronomically better at learning. So now a student can go into chat to Microsoft Bing Copilot and put in what is astrophysics, and that can help. You know, how does a pilot navigate? How do you fly a plane? Things like this, kids put into Copilot, Microsoft Bing.com Copilot, and they get these Chat GPT answers. They get these AI answers, and it gets them into education. It gets them into learning and reading and the teaching model. So it's really exciting that you know, Microsoft is having this impact on young people, and so you know, it's very much providing software solutions to people's lives. So, you know, peripherals and cameras and tracking cameras and big goggles and oh boy, when all this stuff is already on the market, you know, all these peripherals are already there. You can just plug in. All these peripherals have video plugs. You just plug anything you've got, any laptop, any tablet, any phone you've got, and you plug it into these goggles, and it just picks it up. It's like there's so many. It's almost a dime a dozen. So, you know, Microsoft's got to be careful, and it needs to be thoroughly discussed in the back and forward. You know, for some time to know exactly what's going to suit the American audience. You know, what's going to suit them, and I think putting that USB-C input onto the Xbox is going to enable the dev mode on the Series S, Series X, and apps to be developed. And so it's going to be very interesting to see it happen. And as the American market is meeting the consumer where they're at in terms of, you know, can I talk to Cortana? Can I talk to Alexa? Can I talk to Hey Google? Can I ask Hey Google about the Roman Empire, historical events? And if you do want to do that, extensive browser, Copilot experience. What hardware do you need to engage in this conversation? And when you're engaging, where is that data stored? So where's the data stored? Can I store it locally? Can I process? Can I use my own processor in my house? Can I use my own computer in my house to process that? Probably not. Maybe, However, you're trying to assist, any software company wants to assist the consumer, the customer, and meet their needs. So it's the future's big and bright, and I think it's for a software company to be depended on by people seeking, by young people, young and old, is like a huge honor. And so I think that's how I would. I could use my imagination. I could see that. So I don't know if you want to break. There's like a level of trust, but that's the thing with AI. Like in software and browsers and Bing searches that has AI, when you're putting these questions, where do those records go? So it's got to meet community guidelines and expectations. That's why I think Copilot, its next feature, can have local storage on your Xbox or on your PC. So, or on your phone. So I think that's the next feature that users want, and customers and users of services would want. And I think it could be perhaps an unwritten law, but something that needs to be cooked in, baked in. So when we learn more about Copilot and its features can help us and assist us save time. More features means more responsibility with AI in how we save our data, where our records are stored, because we're not building something. You see, AI-assisted searches, smart searches, you're not building the beast of revelation. That's not what's going to happen. So to deal with that, you can store copies of your smart searches locally, and that gives the accountability and the choice back, and the onus and the responsibility back on the user for what they're searching. It's not placing all this onto the software company that's just trying to assist the user engage in education. You see, so that's how you sort of check and balance the technology, because it's like the question was like, well, Microsoft can just build anything. Well, not really. It depends what the community expects, and it depends where the community is at. So it depends if they're satisfied with the software, with the product, with the service. So it's not leaps and bounds at all. And I think as much as any software company wants to listen, and their customers say, look, can you bring some hardware to market, and we want the hardware to play your software or related software. We want a reliable hard piece of hardware from and so software companies can get into hardware and build systems that can run their software that they've developed. So that's it's a can of worms there, but really prototyping out a Series S and how much AI assistance it can do could be just making it the peripherals easy to plug into the Series S. Like any PC, you can plug things into it, right? Maybe that's what the Series S is getting more PC-like, where you can use the USB-C plugs and just start plugging things into it to make it more sort of forward-looking to those who want to be on top of community, legislative, judicial guidelines on AI. The Series S console plastic box will be there with the community, with legislative expectations of responsibility of storing all these records from smart searches, and it's what will be baked into the engineering of the IT